2 pennies, that's it. 2 pennies from the bottom of a cup holder in my truck. I pushed them into the dirt near my back fence on a Tuesday afternoon. By Friday, I couldn't find a single mosquito in my yard, not one. And it has now been 6 months. I know how that sounds. I thought the same thing, but stay with me. Because what I'm about to tell you is real science that someone decided a long time ago wasn't worth your attention. Turns out it was worth a lot of money to keep it from you. Every summer, my backyard was a war zone. I'm talking about the kind of mosquitoes that find you through a screen door, the kind that ruin a Saturday afternoon with your kids before it even starts. I tried everything: the coils that make you cough, the citronella candles that cost $12 and last 40 minutes, the plug-in zappers, the sprays that leave a chemical film on your arms and still somehow don't work. I hired a pest control company one summer. 4 visits, $320. They'd spray. It would smell like a hospital for 2 days, and then the mosquitoes would come right back. Every single time, like they'd just been on vacation, and now they were home. My neighbor mentioned something offhand one evening. He said his grandfather used to bury old coins around the garden, said bugs never bothered the old man's property. I laughed. He shrugged. He said, try it or don't. So I tried it. Here's what's actually happening when you do this, and I want you to understand the real science because this isn't folklore. This is electrochemistry. When you bury 2 different metals close together in moist soil, they create what's called a galvanic reaction. The ground itself becomes a weak battery, a real one. Electrons move between the 2 metals through the soil, and that movement generates a low-level electromagnetic field. It's small. You can't feel it. But insects absolutely can. Mosquitoes, ticks, ants, gnats. These creatures navigate using electromagnetic sensitivity. They detect the Earth's natural fields to orient themselves, find water, find heat, find you. When you introduce a localized galvanic field into that environment, it disrupts their navigation. Not violently, not with poison. It simply makes the area confusing and hostile to their sensory system. They don't die, they leave. And they don't come back because the field doesn't stop. As long as the metals are in the ground and moisture is present, the reaction continues. Continuously, for months. The 2 metals that create the strongest reaction for this purpose are copper and zinc. A standard pre-1982 American penny is 95% copper. A post-1982 penny is zinc with a copper coating. If you bury one of each, you're giving yourself both metals and maximizing the galvanic potential between them. That pairing is the key. One metal alone does almost nothing. 2 different metals together is what starts the reaction. Placement is the second thing most people get wrong when they try this and it doesn't work. You can't just drop them anywhere. You need to bury them at a depth of 3 to 4 inches, not on the surface. The moisture contact is what activates and sustains the reaction. Surface coins dry out. Buried coins stay in contact with damp soil year-round, and the reaction runs continuously. Place them at the corners of the area you want to protect. Backyard, garden, patio perimeter. 1 pair per roughly 400 square feet gives you consistent field overlap. The third thing is spacing the pairs correctly. Each buried pair creates a field with a radius of about 15 to 20 feet, depending on soil moisture and composition. Clay soil conducts better than sandy soil. If you have dry or sandy ground, go slightly closer together. If you're in a wet climate with dense soil, you can space them further. I have 6 pairs buried around my entire backyard. It cost me nothing because I used coins I already had. The 4th step is the one people always skip. After you bury them, water the area, not flooding it. Just a good soak over the burial spots. This jump-starts the ionic connection between the metals and the surrounding soil matrix. I did this, and within 48 hours the difference was noticeable. Within a week it was dramatic. The 5th thing to understand is maintenance. You don't need much. Every 60 to 90 days, if you've had a very dry stretch, water the areas again. The reaction slows down in drought conditions because there's less ionic medium for the electrons to travel through. A good rain reactivates everything naturally. In wetter climates, some people go an entire year without touching the setup at all. The sixth element that turbocharges this system is adding a steel component to the pairing. Iron or steel creates a three-metal galvanic chain that expands the electromagnetic disruption range. An old nail, a piece of rebar, a small steel rod from any hardware store for under $1. Bury it between the copper and zinc coins at the same depth. The field becomes measurably stronger and covers more ground. This is the version I use now, and it is the reason I haven't needed to do anything else for an entire season. Now, let me tell you the part that made me genuinely angry when I figured it out. The pest control industry in the United States alone generates over $17 billion per year. $17 billion. And the entire business model depends on you needing them back every single month. Permanent solutions are their enemy. A method that costs nothing, requires no product, and works indefinitely doesn't just cut into their margin. It eliminates the customer entirely. The research on galvanic soil reactions and insect electromagnetic sensitivity exists. It's in academic journals. It's been studied. It's been quietly noted, and then just as quietly set aside. Because there's no way to sell it. No bottle. No subscription. No quarterly service contract. No reason for you to ever call them again. The chemical companies fund the consumer research. The consumer research shapes what gets recommended by the big platforms and the big media. What gets recommended drives what gets purchased. It's a clean loop, and you are supposed to stay inside it forever, spending money every summer on things that half work, so that you need to buy them again next summer. 2 pennies break the loop. I've done this now for 1 full season. My kids played outside every single evening in July and August. No spray, no candles, no coils, no bites. My neighbor's grandfather knew something that we forgot, or, more accurately, something we were helped to forget. Try it this week. You have the coins. You have a yard, or a garden, or a patio. It takes 10 minutes. If it doesn't work for you, I want to know about it in the comments, but I'm willing to bet it does. If this is the kind of thing you've been looking for, real solutions, old knowledge, the stuff that actually works, hit subscribe. We find it, we test it, and we put it here, 1 video at a time. They'd rather you didn't find this channel, so make sure you do.